so much. And that's really good to know. But I don't know about any of you considering getting a loan out here. Anybody? Okay, wonderful. And those are nuggets you want to know, definitely in the preparation. But I'm going to ask this another question when we talk about preparation, because I do want to move on when we talk about resources as well. And if you all have any questions, please put your hand up so Robin can give your questions and we can pass that on. So when we talk about sharing a story, wonderful, Robin is coming around getting those questions. Just this last thing before we go in, let's talk about that person who wants to get a loan but has some really tough challenges. Maybe had to do a bankruptcy or something like that. How do you deal with that as a lender? How does that brief far as getting a loan?
Thank you very much. That's an excellent question. Another difference with CED is that we can work with you after you've had a bankruptcy, provided it was discharged yesterday. I know some of my traditional banking friends require a seasoning period, meaning that bankruptcy needs to have been discharged for maybe 2, 3, 4 years. And you need to have reestablished credit before you come to them. We can work with you provided that bankruptcy has been discharged yesterday. Okay.
That's amazing. That's really good. I want to give you a hand for that one. Thank you. Because this is yes. I know I'm not the only one. It's okay to loosen up. I promise you, it's all right then. So we have a question here, I think that is really great, and you know what, any of you could just jump in, so you could just raise your hand and I'll come right over to you and give the mic. The question is, what resources do you provide after a business completes your program in order to help the business to sustain, i.e. whether it be accounting or IT or legal services? So after the program is over, what's next, Let's start with Regina.
I want to use our retail boot camp as an example of services that we continue. What makes our retail boot camp different is that we help businesses launch within 6 to 12 months of the program ending. And the program is about individuals who have products and they're looking to launch in the actual brick and mortar space. So after the program ends, we have quarterly meetups with the entrepreneurs to touch base to see where they are in their stage of development, as well as if there's certain resources like access to capital or platforms that they can gain more money or marketing into. We make sure we connect them to that. So we continue to work with them ongoing. We like to look at them as though they're our alumni. We don't just cut them off at the end of that. We continue to help them develop. And at some point through this, I'll probably get the best person who can say how we've helped them. We have Ebony Rutherford from Trisha's Garage. So if I could, I'd like to take a moment for her to share her experience on how we continue to work with her in her business. So come get the mic.
Hey. Hi guys, I'm
Here directly from.
Good morning. My name is Ebony. I am a small business owner with Trisha's Garage, and I had the pleasure of meeting all of the panelists as well as the resources that are available through the state of Michigan. A lot of times we think that there are not any resources available, but there is an abundance of resources available and you have to seek it. It's not going to come to you. My opportunity with the Retail Boot Camp started in July of last year. I went through the 8-week program. I developed skills that I lacked. I developed skills and relationships with people to assist me, and I had an opportunity to go through Kiva Detroit, which is a crowdfunding program after the Retail Boot Camp, and I was funded for capital to continue my pursuit of a small business and as well as expanding my resources. So she's absolutely correct. It's not a one-time deal once you go through the class and that's it. They really do help you expand your knowledge, expand your business practices, and as well as build relationships. So I'm extremely grateful for everybody that I've met, and including all the panelists. So
Thank you so
and
much.
you can talk to me later on.
Cool. What's your website?
Oh, sure. So my website is Trisha's Garage. I am just a small business owner that helps college students transition from a little frumpy college wear to more of a professional wear on a budget. So it really helps them exude their self and express themselves in the way they dress. So I love yellow, so yellow is something that I always wear because it exudes energy, passion, and positivity. So I really would love to speak with everybody, and I'll be more than happy to share it.
Is that Trisha's Garage?
Trisha's Garage. Yes, trishasgarage.com. And I'm on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, same thing.
Cool. Thank you so very much. No problem, thank you. Now, the next question comes in is, for example, I love this question, I love this a lot, because it talks about resources, and so I think that everybody has the opportunity to really share this. It says, what resources you all share for contract opportunities for service providers? We always talk about the brick and mortar. For example, I'm a marketing company, so we're talking about service providers who help out in those areas, or whatever service that you have. What resources do you have, and how can a service providing company get access to these resources?
Thank you. The SBA has two programs. One is called the Hub Zone program, where if you're in a certain zip code and a percentage of your employees are in that zip code that are deemed distressed, there's an advantage when you're pricing in terms of contracting with the federal government. And then there's sort of our cornerstone program called 8A. The 8A program is for socially and economically disadvantaged business owners, and it's not easy to get into that program. You have to be in business for 2 years, and you have to have a certain level of revenues and a certain net worth in the business, because you have to have the capacity to perform on contracts. But once you get into that program, there are set-asides, and it doesn't matter if you're a manufacturing company, a wholesaler, or a service. The federal government and the prime contractors that supply the federal government buy everything, and up to the tune of $400 billion a year. So definitely get in contact with our office in terms of contracting, because we don't differentiate between service and manufacturing or any other industry. And then let me put a plug in for the P-Tax. This is a state of Michigan program funded by the MEDC, the Michigan Economic Development Corporation, along with the U.S. Department of Defense. P-Tax stands for Procurement Technical Assistance Centers. And if you just Google P-Tax of Michigan, there are 12 centers throughout the state, and their services are free. The SBDC definitely can put you in touch with them, and their whole job is to look at opportunities for contracting. They can look at what contracts are coming up, what bids are coming up, who won the last contract, what was the price, and so it gives you some market intelligence. And all the services of the PTAC, primarily the consulting services, are free, and they have all kinds of workshops too. So I definitely want to put a plug in. I don't know if anyone from the PTACs are here, but they're really a great resource.
That's great, that's great. I thank you so much. I think I'm loud enough, and I think I'm going to be okay, if you all don't mind. Can you all hear us well? Wonderful. So the next question I want to ask, we're going to talk about service providers and resources, because I know with Prosperous, I'm a graduate of the program. You forgot to share that. It's okay, we got to let them know. Okay, if Regina can share, let me, come on, you better stand up, girl. Listen, I just want to say this, because I know on certain areas as service providers, and I'm going to speak to your organization, that sometimes you can contract to do workshops. So does any of your organization offer that? So we have contractors here, service providers here. They want to come through you all and do contracts with you all, maybe be a TA assistant. Can they do that, and what is the protocol? So they're not limiting business just to coming and being a client, but they can also do business with you all. Is that possible, and how does that work? And we can start with you, Wendy.
Sure. In some cases, we will contract with individuals, if they're a marketing professional, accounting professional, to work with or teach some of our training programs. I'd also like to mention that Pure Michigan Business Connect also offers an opportunity for professionals who are looking to do business with individuals. And so basically by registering your company with the state of Michigan, the Pure Michigan Business Connect, you can actually be called upon by resource agencies such as the SBDC or the SBA to come in and work with those individuals. And so if you're interested in doing something like that, please let me know, and I can get you in contact with that organization. And just a quick answer to another question that was asked. In terms of reaching out to the community, and in terms of helping the entrepreneurs who are actually out in the community, they may not be focused in downtown Detroit. We offer a variety of online training programs for those of you who can't get to our physical location. And if you're an existing business, we also can come out to your small business to provide assistance. And so we don't let that limit us in terms of servicing the community.
Wonderful. Is there anyone else that can answer that question? Yes.
I'd like to answer the question two ways. One, it's natural that we support the businesses and entrepreneurs that we work with. If they're food vendors or retailers, naturally we go to them first. But we also work with entrepreneurs who will meet up with us, tell us what their business is, what they're offering, and be able to connect you in some capacity in that way. So that's two different ways that we interact with entrepreneurs in the business environment.
Now, Jordan, what about your organization?
So much like SWAT City, we do the same thing. So if we know that there's food vendors or marketing firms that go through our program, we try to utilize them as much as possible. Also with our technical assistance program, kind of how that works is after people graduate from the program, they come to us and we ask them, what do you need to move your business forward? What do you need to sustain your business? What do you need to grow your business? And after we find out what that is, we find someone that can help them over whatever challenges they're experiencing. And we contract with TA providers. So if you have a marketing firm or an accounting firm, or you do some kind of legal work, or you do social media like Nana does, then we like to work with people that are from the neighborhoods, that are culturally competent, that know the neighborhoods, that know the people in the neighborhoods, and we like to contract with them to provide our services. So that's kind of two separate.
Wonderful, Bonnie.
I was just going to say, for the Detroit Business Support Network, which is an organization that was convened of all of the different providers across the city, have come together and start building a collaborative ecosystem, if you will. We talk to each other all the time. From that grew a project called Detroit BizGrid. If you go to DetroitBizGrid.com, you can download a copy. You can also walk into D-Hive or TechTown and pick up a hard copy. And it will help you kind of look, it's an infographic basically that sort of outlines immediate contact information for all of these organizations, and it's set up by stage. So depending on the stage of business that you're in, if you're just at the idea stage or if you're already an established business, you can get an idea of which of these resources is appropriate for you at the time. So you can, like I said, either pick up a hard copy or download it, and it kind of walks you through all these different organizations. And the point really is to get you into the ecosystem. Once you're in, if you've identified an organization and you've gone to ask them for help, if they say, well, you're not quite ready for us, you're not quite ready for a loan, or you're not quite ready for this, don't be afraid to ask them, well, who should I go to next? Because we all talk to each other through this Detroit Business Support Network, and it's our job, really, to make sure that you get to the right place. So if you land in the wrong place by accident, don't be afraid to stick with it until they help point you in the right direction and you get where you're supposed to be. There is something out there for you, whatever stage you're in. There's an organization designed to meet you where you are, and we really want to make sure that you have access to all of those things.
Wonderful. And just let you know that there are some BizGrid forms in the back. And so they're great resources, great opportunities, and you can go to the table and you can access all of that. Am I correct? Great. Now, I'd like to take a mental break. Are you all enjoying this information? Just clap your hand. It's so intense. It's so intense. I'm looking across them. It's so intense. Hi, it's okay to smile. I love smiles. It works. Okay, so we're going to take on the next question. Again, we just want to, as a reminder, that please fill out these tabs. Please fill these index cards out, because we're not here just for us. We're here for you. So therefore, in order for us to know what's on your mind, I can't read. Fill it out so we can talk and have your question answered. We don't want you to walk away without any resources. We want you to walk away informed, educated, and we want you to walk away with some business too. Is that okay? Yeah, that's great. Okay, so we're going to move on to this question. It says, what is a checklist that you can use in negotiating a contract for a lease, from monthly expenses to build, like for example, to bill out requests, or a lease to own? So for someone who wants to have contracts negotiated, and this is up for everybody, we have a lot of great minds here, thought leaders, who can just give us some advice on how to utilize those marketable skills to negotiate these contracts and etc. Who wants to take that question on? Okay, Regina.
Well, first I'd like to say the Wayne State Legal Business Clinic and the PAC Clinic, they're not here right now, but they're a great place to start. We refer our clients either to a coach or a consultant that we have in-house, or we refer them to the Wayne State Legal Business Clinic because it's free. If you have any legal questions regarding contracts, I always recommend that you talk to a legal entity, an attorney. That's the best way to go. So again, that's free resources at the Wayne State Legal Business Clinic, but also we have consultants. If you contact us and